I've been a fan of the Yakuza franchise for a good chunk of my life, with my entry point being 2011's Yakuza 4. I didn't play Yakuza 4 at launch because I was 12 years old and more focused on Super Mario Galaxy 2, but I would end up giving Yakuza a try in 2016. I fell in love with the franchise from its great storylines and characters to its fantastic soundtracks and memorable side stories. Each game was like Shenmue if Shenmue was actually a functional game, and that's part of the reason why the series saw such a surge in popularity. 2017 brought about Yakuza 0, which pretty much rejuvenated interest in the series here in the West, and for good reason, the game rocked. There really wasn't anything quite like the Yakuza games, and I'm happy to report they're still going strong. 7 is my favorite, but 0 and Lost Judgment are pretty close. There's a delicate balance to every Yakuza / Like a Dragon game, where the stories are played completely straight, no matter how dumb they can get, and they can border on melodrama at times. Simultaneously, the sub-stories serve to lighten the mood, most of the time, and offer memorable experiences for the player. The story needs to be dark, but not so depressing that it turns people away, and the sub-stories gotta be whimsical, but not so silly that it takes you out. Like, sure, okay, in Yakuza 7 you do fight a giant Roomba and a chimp piloting construction equipment, but that's fine. Each title manages to thread this tightrope carefully, and it made me think back on manga I enjoyed. Yakuza has the tendencies of series like Golden Kamui and JoJo, in terms of hyper-masculine shirtless men just hanging out and having fun. But I needed a series that truly captured the essence of Yakuza. It was then, in 2022, that my wife happened to introduce me to a little manga called The Fable. The Fable was published in 2014, created by Katsuhisa Minami, and it stars a famous hitman simply known as The Fable. The manga itself won a Kodansha Manga Award, which is a pretty prestigious honor. Other such winners include Attack on Titan. Wait, no, that's a bad example. Alright, let's see. Alright, Tokyo Revenger. No, that's even worse. Seven Deadly Sin. Jesus Christ, they give this award to anything. Wait, hold on. Vagabond won? Yeah, okay, that's a good one. Whew. Anyways, The Fable is a renowned assassin who is known for his quick and painless kills, eliminating targets with a single bullet in under a few minutes. I've been watching John Wick with my wife recently, and let's just say Johnny Boy is a little sloppy, so he could take a few notes. Accompanied by a female cohort, the Fable sponsor / father figure gives him the most dangerous and difficult task yet. Go a year without killing anyone. Lay low, hang out with some Yakuza, find love, just don't kill anyone. Given the name Akira, with his female buddy being named Yoko, the two are under the protection of Ebihara in Osaka as they try to live a normal life for a year. Unlike previous videos where I talk about manga extensively, I won't be giving a summary of the 240 chapters that make up this series. I genuinely want you guys to experience this manga for yourself, and I'm instead going to talk about aspects of the series that hopefully sell you on it without spoiling much of it. So what? Okay, is this the best Yakuza manga because it just happens to have some Yakuza characters and it's fairly comedic? Nah. See, what both The Fable and Yakuza share is one key ingredient that is missing from a lot of works these days. Soul. What is soul? Well, it's hard to put into words, and its definition varies from person to person. Me personally, the way I describe when something has soul is when you can consume it and feel the love and passion behind the team behind it. I love Shenmue because that game has genuine love and soul put into it. A lot of superhero films that come out these days, no soul. Except Shazam 1, I like that one. And the Batman, that's his own thing. I guess the best way to put it is that both the Yakuza franchise and the Fable don't feel mindless, like they're just trying to push sales. Like, okay, I get it. At the end of the day, the point of any entertainment product is to make money, but it really does feel like passion was the primary force behind these projects. The Fable feels like a manga written by someone who has lived a long life and met all sorts of people, weirdos and otherwise. The writing and jokes in the Fable are genuinely so funny, and it's one of the few manga that makes me laugh out loud while reading. The art complements the writing too, with fantastic facial expressions and a relatively realistic art style. The characters all look like they're rocking with eyeliner, but that's totally fine. I love Akira's usual face. The backgrounds aren't anything to write home about, and more times than not, they look like Clip Studio Paint assets or photographs that the mangaka took himself and digitized, but it's totally fine. If anything, it complements the realistic art of the characters a lot more. And honestly, I can ramble for hours about what I love about the series, but I'll just talk about some moments that come to mind that hopefully sell you on the manga. In Chapter 8, Akira and Yoko are getting accustomed to their surroundings, but the Yakuza hosting the siblings don't really like them too much and hires some goons to scare them. Akira recognizes this instantly, but also remembers his promise to the boss that he can't kill nobody. So he uses his mystic eyes of depth perception to figure out exactly how he can do damage without fighting. He blocks a punch with his forehead, shattering the goon's fingers while also pretending to be hurt, immediately followed by blocking a kick with his elbow and busting that goon's shin. These expressions here are so good, and they still get a laugh out of me. This part here, where he makes himself bleed and cry while thinking, "Don't mess with a pro," is so great, and dude, do not get me started on Jackal. Jackal is this weirdo comedian that Akira loves, and no matter how corny his jokes are, Akira always laughs like a madman whenever Jackal comes on. I love this part here where Akira gets super hype over his boss texting him Jackal stickers, and also, this introduces me to the real reason why I made this video. I'm not here to promote Yakuza or the Fable, I'm here to promote birds. That's right, baby, Akira, the famous and feared Fable, a mysterious force ripping through the underground, gets a bird. Well, first he has to outrun the goons that were like roughing him up the other night first, and man, this is exactly what I'm talking about, dude, look at this. These goons are hired to rough up Akira, scare him into leaving. But even then, when one goon sees Akira about to jump off a bridge, the goon's like, wait, hold on, you're way too high, you're gonna get hurt. Of course, Akira? Totally fine. But the Fable has all sorts of moments like this. Without going into spoilers, all the characters of the series are just not two-dimensional. They have so many layers and faces, and each chapter gives you different perspectives on the cast, and the cast is pretty large. If I had a major complaint with the series, is that some characters do unfortunately have similar faces, which can make it difficult to differentiate, which is an unfortunate effect of the realistic art style. But that's my only complaint about the series. Anyways, where was I? Yeah, Akira gets a black-headed parrot. He names it Captain, and it is so cute, look at that. This video is pro-bird propaganda. Get yourself a bird and give it a kiss, for luck. I do that every day, and look at me, I'm big and strong. There's this part where Ebihara, the Yakuza dude that's fostering the siblings, brings Akira to an abandoned warehouse to determine what exactly he's dealing with. He tasks Akira with killing a dude who is the lowest of the low, only for Akira to knock him down non-lethally. Despite how it seems and Ebihara's previous misconceptions, Akira is not a serial killer, he's just a really good hitman that only kills when required. There's this fantastic bit where Ebihara asks Akira, "What does life mean to you?" And Akira mentions how he bought Captain. 190,000 yen, which is a little over 1,400 bucks. And Akira himself, he never owned a pet before. Akira knows a lot about taking lives, but he doesn't know much about life itself. And what he does know is that he wants to take good care of Captain. And even mentions how Captain himself responded positively to the name of Captain. This conversation is all it took for Ebihara's opinion on Akira to change 180. It makes him realize that Akira is a killer, but not necessarily a bad guy. Ebihara then proceeds to kill the aforementioned lowlife. It's great, because while the series has a large cast of characters that are Yakuza, this series doesn't really pull punches on how the Yakuza operate and doesn't attempt to glorify them. The Yakuza games also don't try to glorify the Yakuza, with Kiryu pretty much constantly running from the Tojo clan because Daigo is an idiot that can't do anything right, but either way, it's an interesting way of showcasing how this criminal organization does have their own code of conduct, and characters like Ebihara are great because he's cool, but he's also still a criminal, and the series makes sure you remember that. But then you also get pages of him making a tasty meal. People aren't just one defined trait, we're a collection of experiences and relationships that form us into who we are. And I mentioned it before, but there's no one-dimensional character in this series. Everyone gets screen time, and it's hard to pick a single favorite character from this huge cast. God, dude, I'm going through the early parts in the manga again, and I forgot this bit where Yoko gets a hamster, and one of the Yakuza dudes keeping an eye on the siblings is researching hamster facts to impress her when he invites her out to drink. Okay, God, speaking, that is something I need to bring up in this video. Yoko is not an assassin. She's not like Akira in that regard. But this woman is devious. She is malicious. She has the alcohol tolerance of a Norse god and loves bringing men to bars just to watch them suffer. She is a lot like my friends on Twitter who just adore pathetic, sloppy, messy men. Every time Yoko enters a bar, be prepared for some of the funniest chapters you've ever seen because she gets up into some horrible, horrible shenanigans. The last thing I'll talk about for this video is Akira getting a job, specifically working alongside a kind girl named Misaki and her crew at a graphic design company. His co-worker is a sleazeball loser, but the boss is one of the best characters in the entire series. He's just a genuinely good guy with no ulterior motives, and he really looks after Akira like a son. At this point, Akira pretty much got 3 dads, but I don't blame any of them, he's just that lovable. Akira picks up art, and his designs are just look at them. They are the best. And I love how everyone is supportive of him, and even his clients adore his work. He gets so serious about it too, and I love how he can kill people in minutes, but it takes him hours to draw something like this. This series as a whole is just lovable, and I'm so happy to have read it. Mind you, I purposefully left out a lot of serious things that happen within these beginning portions of the manga, and I have a reason for that. When I see people try to get folk into Yakuza, I notice they usually share the silly sub-stories as a form of bait to hook in potentially interested folk. Once they sink their teeth in, they find a genuinely well thought out and fun series of titles that still hold up great. I'm trying to do the same thing here with the Fable, showcase some of the sillier aspects that might get you interested, and these all happen very early on into the series, so there's so much more for you to look forward to. There's a great live action adaptation of the Fable, and that covers what I talk about in this video, plus some additional serious story beats I didn't cover, but I will admit the film does take some creative liberties, especially towards certain characters and during the closing portion of the film, so I recommend watching the film in conjunction with reading the manga itself. You can find the movie on Netflix, as well as its sequel movie too. Despite being 240 chapters, this manga has insanely good pacing. There was not a single wasted chapter, and it never felt like it was dragging on or anything of that sort. It's a very quick read too because of it. Each chapter is easily digestible, you can read it in like under half a minute, and you can just get through the entire series in like a day or two if you're really into it. There's a sequel manga that's getting updated, and it's been fantastic too, but I'm waiting for more chapters to drop before I take the plunge. But either way, I think The Fable is a genuine 10 out of 10 manga that perfectly captures the seriousness, the heart, and the soul of the Yakuza franchise. I cannot recommend it enough, and I hope you guys give it a shot. The Fable really does capture the essence of Yakuza, and for that, I love it forever. Just want to thank my patrons real quick: Is a Polaroid, Sarah Lolita, Borbalus Vunny, Real Sethery, Luce, Vento, C Crowns, Kiwi Kiwi, V, Andrew, Audrey, Braystar, Silgon, Amateur Misu, Logan, Sianaru, and Jiva. Thank you guys for watching till the end. Love you all. Hope you guys please check out The Fable and let me know if you do in the comments. I would love to talk to you guys about that. I'll see you guys next time, where I'll either talk about more manga or I'm gonna talk about Shenmue, so stay tuned for that. Take it easy, you guys.